So Dottie, you got this email here. She wants to go back on her godparent commitment because she realizes her niece is a terrible little human being.
Oh my God. Okay. I'll read this. It's not from me. Just a reminder to everybody. Bert Show. I need some help with an incredibly important but delicate situation. I am the godparent for my sister's daughter. I am not just the godparent for religious purpose, but I am also the person who agreed to raise my niece if anything were to happen to my sister. My sister is a single mom. She had my niece really young, and my niece's biological father has never really been in the picture at all. About 5 years ago, when my niece was still a sweet child, my sister...
She wrote that?
Yeah.
Or you ad-libbed that?
No, when my niece was still a sweet child, my sister realized that she needed to have a will and make sure someone would take care of my niece if anything were to happen to her. At the time, because she was sweet, it seemed like the obvious thing to agree to. Well, fast forward to now. I'm now married with two of my own. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter and a 6-month-old son. While I love my niece, she has turned into someone that I don't really like. She is now 13, extremely rude and disrespectful, and constantly in trouble at home and in school. I've tried to talk to her and help my sister, but it seems hopeless. She is just turning into a really awful person.
Jeez, that is harsh.
Yeah. Well, my husband didn't realize until recently what I had agreed to do so many years ago. He had no idea that if something happened to my sister, my niece would come live with us. He's very much against this, and I don't disagree. We both feel that raising my niece would be impossible, painful, and damaging to our own children and our marriage. I tried to tell him that it's very unlikely to happen, so why worry about it? He said that despite it being unlikely, it's too important not to officially talk to my sister and end my previous commitment. I've been putting it off because it seems like such a difficult thing to tell someone. However, he has now gotten so angry that he is insisting I talk to her ASAP.
No.
I can't put it off any longer.
No.
What I'd like to know is if anyone in your audience has ever had someone go back on their promise to raise your child if something were to happen.
Huh.
Or has anyone had to be the one to have this difficult conversation? What words were used to make the situation less painful? I just need to know how to handle this situation. Thanks so much for taking the time to help me out, Leanne.
All right, let's try this. 1-855-BERT Show. This problem will alleviate itself. Okay. So they become the godparents if something were to happen to the sister, right? Chances are pretty good the sister is just a bad mom. And that has made the 13-year-old the way she is.
Stop. That's not-
If she dies, if the sister dies, then when niece comes over to a live sister, they can turn the whole thing around.
Okay, just because the kid's acting wily, let's not say it's always mom's fault. Like, she's a single mom, so that's a lot. Like, that's a lot in itself. And if something were to happen to her, I would think that her family would want to help the niece through the grief, give her a place to live, a father figure that she hasn't had before. I think this would be wonderful for her, and grief might turn the tables. And no kid is just awful forever.
Mm-mm.
Like, there are so many things that they can do to help this. I mean, having a conversation where it's like, what's at the root of this? Can we get her some therapy? Maybe she's experiencing like symptoms of this and that, and we're not taking it seriously. Like, help your sister. She knows her daughter's being a punk. She probably is drowning in it and needs help.
I would say people who are listening to this, who have a child, who have a daughter, who has gone through puberty, and this is what the age we're talking about right now, 13, and all these hormones are raging right now. It is very definitely could possibly just be a phase. And I have a friend who's experienced this herself recently, and she's come out on the other side of it absolutely fine. But it's a rough patch, and rough patches happen. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad parent. It just means that there are rough patches in your child's life, and you're doing the best that you can. Now, personally, if this is how they feel now, what I was saying, no, don't say anything, because what are the odds of something happening are hopefully slim, etc. However, if that's how you feel, I don't want you raising my kid anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're going to bail when it's that easy, like, freaking get out of here. Or you're going to bail when it's that hard, like, get out of here, Mo.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of stressing over something that is likely never going to even happen. I don't think you should have to have this conversation. And like y'all have said, if unfortunately this were to happen to her sister, it probably is not going to be tomorrow, and she's not even going to be the same girl. She won't be the same age. Things will be different. I don't think you even need to have this conversation.
Tell your sister to be a better parent.
Hey, in case
short,
you die, be a better parent.
And avoid all high risk behaviors. Thanks.
The Bert Show.